Liberation of Night, written by Blair Olson. How long has it been? How long has it been looking after this populous planet for the Empire by the order of Matriarch Matthewick? This planet of only 2 billion people living within large fortified cities, with large stone castles overlooking its populace, with thick stone walls and trained soldiers in melee combat, and have few ranged infantry weapons that could be deemed as effective to the soldiers of Furnace Company. Nothing but ironclad cannons and gun-powdered flintlock rifles and pistols. This planet was designated Night Planet K7JA9 Delta, a planet that Matriarch Matthewick has ordered Forge Master Kythe, former captain and an old soldier of the Empire Army of Earth, one of many commanders before Matthewick was given command of the Iron Legion at the time of his founding, and accepted Matthewick's home country, Olympia, as his own. Forge Master Kythe, with his 50 soldiers of his Furnace Company, along with Psychic Herald Sithis, Priest Officer Jericho, Medical Officer Theros, and Master Tech Kairos, once landed, proceeded to construct their iron citadel far from one of the planet's capital-like cities, making sure not to interfere or disrupt the populace. Yet. It took them 15 years to build and finish the exterior structure of the citadel, only to have an army of foot soldiers marching towards them with rows upon rows of what looks like swordsmen, spearmen, flintlock riflemen, and many other old-time soldiers marching in ranks, with 3 highly dressed men on horseback, with crowns of different styles atop of their heads. Kythe had no choice but to meet these rulers on the ground, with the citadel barely finished. But with advanced heavy portable weapons in their rifle squads, they would be more than enough to show the true power of the Empire and of Furnace Company. Leaving the safety of the Iron Citadel with 3 5-man combat squads, accompanied by Psychic Herald Sithis and Priest Officer Jericho, Forge Master Kythe marched with the pride of the Empire upon his shoulders. One of his honoured comrades had been given the honour of carrying their battle banner, and while showing no aggression toward the population, the weapons at everyone's side were at the ready. The 3 kings saw these heavy armoured warriors, and bluntly demanded their reason in creating their citadel that overshadowed one of the king's castle cities with its massive size, calling them hellish demons and inhuman beings from the unknown. Kythe talked in the commanding yet powerful voice that he always had on the field of battle. After an hour and a half of talking with the 3 kings, Kythe knew that these 3 were close friends, and that their kingdoms had joined under one banner that they themselves, including their children, had created for their people. But they were under attack by 4 other kingdoms. When Kythe and the 3 kings ended their talk, the 3 kings knew that these human soldiers were not here to ruthlessly take over their kingdom, and they relaxed, knowing Kythe's intentions. When their army was attacked by cannon and flintlock fire, it was by one of the rival kingdoms, who attacked from the shadows of a nearby forest area, charging out with swords, hammers, axes, and other bloody implements, with the roar of blood in their throats. But the 3 kings' combined army, unprepared for this attack, ran from the attacking berserkers who had harshly demoralized them. The 3 kings tried their best to rally their soldiers, but it was no use. About a quarter of their troops died in the assault, littering the ground with the dead. Kythe watched with his soldiers as the attack continued. His patience would not allow this to continue any further. Kythe ordered his brothers to form a line, be ready, and wait for his order. Psychic Herald Sithis and Priest Jericho readied their squads with machine guns and 2 plasma lancers on either side of the line. The kings pleaded with the heavy armoured warriors to retreat, as they themselves tried to control their panicking horses. Kythe looked to his left and to his right, seeing his brothers-in-arms steadying their guns, and the battle banner held high and proud by Halon, with his SMG in his one free hand. Kythe knew his soldiers were ready for anything. Kythe, hearing the king's plea, turned to the kings and smiled at them. "We do not flee in the face of the enemy. We are Furnace soldiers. We are the Empire's chosen soldiers of war." And in one quick movement, he readied his assault rifle and aimed it at the already charging enemy attack force. At the same time, all 19 warriors aimed their own weapons at the enemy. "Soldiers!" shouted Kythe, feeling the wash of battle flooding through his veins and through his entire being. Fire! After that short demonstration of power from Furnace Company, the attackers lay on the ground like smouldering piles of ruined meat, for they never had the chance to get close enough to meet in melee combat. Kaith marched to the three kings, who were stunned and filled with mixed emotions of fear and amazement at these unknown and powerful soldiers. Kaith then asked the three kings to return to their own kingdoms and wait until these iron warriors were ready to talk peace. The soldiers returned to the Iron Citadel, and Kaith ordered the finishing of the citadel's interior. The rest of his brothers, without any argument, followed his order and started to finish the citadel's interior. In 14 months, they were able to construct their forge, barracks, training area, vehicle bay, communication tower, artillery cannon emplacements and defence systems, to finish their great iron citadel that now dominated over any known castle on the planet. With the Iron Citadel now finished, Kaith now wanted to continue with his mission of bringing the planet under the banner of the Empire and crush any resistance that would stand in their way. For he already knew where all kingdoms, rival and friend on this planet were on the global map, so he would either destroy them or convince them to surrender to them without any bloodshed. 1 week later, Kaith, Sithis, Jericho, Theros and Kairos, with a 10-man tactical squad escort, talked and brought together the kings of the three kingdoms. The Blue Moon Shield Kingdom, the Silver Horn Kingdom, and the High Green Crown Kingdom. Under the Empire banner in the dining halls of the High Green Crown Kingdom, the kings told Kaith their tale about the 4 rival kingdoms. The Axed Horse Kingdom specialised in woodwork and horseback cavalry. Though their king was a rival, he was not a man without pride and honour, and in times past had requested help when they themselves were attacked. The Severed Kingdom was a brutal kingdom, with a barbaric king and queen who killed for the pleasure of it. The Knife and Cloak Kingdom fought in the shadows, using unholy magics in the service of their immortal queen. And finally, the Unknown Kingdom, who, it was said, lived on the other side of the planet, separated from the 6 kingdoms by the huge ocean. Though the Unknown Kingdom never met them on the field of battle, their dark tales filled all the kingdoms with dread. Kaith listened and knew it would be a long campaign to unify this planet. When the 3 kings had finished their war stories, Kaith, along with Jericho, thought it would be best to tell their own stories of fighting for their empire. When they had finished their tales, the Iron Warriors departed the dining hall, leaving inspired minds behind them in the awe-stricken people, including their kings. Kaith led his brothers back to the Iron Citadel, and having won the minds of the 3 kingdoms, planned for the next generation who would join their ranks to form the planet's own personal planetary defence force, trained and equipped with weapons, body armour and vehicles made by Furnace Company.